Here are the steps you need to follow. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get to know Wells Fargo business checking account. So Wells Fargo has actually a constellation of business checking accounts depending on the transactional volume that you plan on having with the bank. Actually, they have three primary accounts. They have three primary business accounts. And so we have the initiate business checking. So this is actually if you're just a regular business owner and you're just looking for, I would say, a basic business bank account at Wells Fargo. This account comes with a $10 monthly service fee, and you basically need to maintain a $500 minimum daily balance, $1,000 average ledger balance, and there are no transaction fees for the first 100 transactions per fee period. Okay, and after that it's 50 cents each transaction, and there is no cash deposit processing fee for the first 5,000 deposited per fee period. After that is 30 cents per $100 deposited. Okay, and there is a $25 minimum account opening deposit. That's for the initiate business checking. That's actually the most basic business checking account at Wells Fargo. And then you have the navigate business checking. So this is actually if you, or let's say you have been in business for a while and you know that your transactional volume is expanding. So this is actually the bank account for you, the business bank account for you. So this account actually has it comes with a $25 monthly service fee. Okay, and you actually have to maintain $10,000 minimum daily balance and $15,000 average combined business deposit balances. Okay, this is really important. So, and then you have a constellation of other fees, transaction fees, cash deposit processing fees, and if you don't maintain a certain volume. So this is really important to remember. And this account, the Navigate Business Checking, comes with a $25 minimum account opening deposit. And then you have the third, sort of what we call the superior tiers when it comes to Wells Fargo business checking accounts. They call it optimized business checking. So this is actually if you are contemplating a significant transactional volume on Wells Fargo, then you want to go with this account. So this account comes with a $75 monthly processing fee, and this includes up to 5 linked optimized business checking accounts. Okay, and so you have again, you have a smorgasbord of fees, but the benefits are really, really interesting. So overall, Wells Fargo, so when you think about Wells Fargo business checking accounts, those are the 3 tiers you need to think about. So initiate, business checking, navigate, business checking, and optimize. Initiate, navigate, and optimize. Step number 2, you want to choose your Wells Fargo business checking account. So first of all, you actually familiarize yourself with the 3 tiers, right? Now it's up to you to actually make a decision. Now there are 2 options to do this. So now Wells Fargo actually allows you to follow a little survey on their website. So you're able to answer a few questions and decide which account is good for you. And the second option is you can compare all 3 business checking accounts head on. Okay, let me just describe both processes in detail. Process number 1. So you want to go to Wells Fargo website, their business checking account page, and you want to click on find the right account and start the survey. So the survey will actually ask you what are the financial needs of your business, as you can see on the screen here, and you actually just check all the important elements for your business, and you click next. And then they'll ask you which type of account do you need. We put for this exercise a checking account. You put next. Then they'll ask you how much money do you generally expect to keep in this checking account. This is what we're talking about, the transactional volume. And here we put more than $10,000. So you have to check next. And they'll ask you, will you need treasury management services, typically suited for businesses with more than 250 combined payments and deposits per month? We put yes. You click next. So they'll ask you, now they'll just recap everything for you. And here you just put next again. And they'll also ask you, let's explore business expense financing. So what do you need financing for? We put the whatever we need financing for, credit card. You put next. They'll ask you what are the annual sales of your business. We put the range that actually corresponds to our business. Again, folks, this is a fictitious business. We're not really answering for our own business. We just wanted to show you how the whole thing works, okay? And so we put here 100,000 to a million. So we put next. And so now they'll actually, they will want to know more about your NICS, your sector, all that kind of stuff. So we put professional, scientific, or technical services. You put next. And then they ask you how much you would like to borrow. We put up to $100,000. Next. And then it asks you how long have you been in business. We put more than 2 years. You put next. And then so here you have, based on our survey, the algorithm, the Wells Fargo algorithm, thinks that we will love to have the optimized business checking accounts. So you have to do the same thing for your business and see what really works for you. And then on the next screenshot here, we have here that they actually trying to sell you other stuff like FD 150 terminal and Clover Go. So they're just trying to make extra cash off of you. And they also show you the Clover Flex. Again, Wells Fargo just trying to sell you other stuff here. Next here, they're showing you authorize.net, blah, 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 okay? And the funnel here, they're telling you supplemental cash to cover expenses. But those are not related to the business checking accounts. And that's it. So that was for the option number 1, okay? Option number 2, you want to compare the checking accounts head on, side by side. By the way, welcome back to the show. I really appreciate having you here. I'm actually just today's topic. I'm explaining to you how to open a Wells Fargo business checking account. Okay. And we have 3. When we talk about Wells Fargo, we have 3 types of business accounts. We have the initiate, the navigate, and the optimize. And so initiate is basic. Navigate, the way we understand navigate is for businesses that have a medium sort of transactional volume. And optimize is for those businesses that have a significant transactional volume every single month. So now we are going to compare. So you want to compare those 3 checking accounts, and you have to go to, we're showing you the link on the Wells Fargo website and here. So basically you have the initiate business checking. Okay. So here you can see on the screen here, you have to click the account you want to compare. So you have to click the initiate. You have to do the same thing for navigate, and you have to do the same thing for optimize. So we are going to compare all 3 of them right now. Let's do that. So you can see once you have that, you click all 3 of them and you're trying to compare them side by side. You can see on the screen here. So they say that optimized business checking is great for seasoned business owners, sophisticated banking needs, and high transaction volume. That's what I just said, right? And they have relationship-based benefits. Those include a better APR on business credit cards, among other things. And the intermediate, if you will, the middle tier business checking accounts, that's actually called a navigate. And so they said this is great for evolving business owners adjusting to changes. They have increased. So if you experience, or you think you are going to experience, increased financial activity, and this account also comes with relationship-based benefits. And the low tier initiate business checking account, this is best for business owners who are trying to build a foundation, and you have the most common business banking needs, and you have reliable financial support. When I'm talking about low tier, I'm not saying this is bad. I'm just saying that when you think about the compendium or the hierarchy of Wells Fargo business checking accounts, the initiate is just at the bottom because the transactional needs are not as high. So this is how you compare them. You can see on the next screenshot here, we are continuing. So Wells Fargo is just showing, we're going to leave this on the screen for a while so you can see the key features for each account. So you can see side by side how those actually compare. All right, let's just move on to the next step now. Next step, you get to know Wells Fargo Business Savings Account. See, the whole thing is if you're trying to establish a proper relationship, you're trying to buttress your relationship with Wells Fargo, especially when it comes to business accounts, it's great to also have a business savings account. That way you can actually benefit from the smorgasbord of funding options of banking products and services that Wells Fargo actually provides to its clients. See, the thing is, what we tell our clients is that if you're trying to have a business checking account, always with Wells Fargo, always trying to become one of the preferred customers. I'm not talking about the profits you're letting flow through Wells Fargo. I'm talking about all the services and the products that you have through them. That's how you want to become one of the preferred members, so they can give you their best business credit cards, the best business loans, the best business lines of credit, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you get lots of benefits if you open both a business and savings account. Okay, that's what we call here in our jargon, we call it MPR, multi-product relationship. Okay, so you go to Wells Fargo Business Savings page, and so they have the business market rate savings, and they also have the business platinum savings, and they have the business time accounts. That's how they call the CDs. So you have three categories of deposit accounts, savings account, if you will. So for the business market rate savings, there is a monthly service fee of $5. Okay, there's a $300 minimum daily balance you need to maintain in that account, and you need to actually, the minimum deposit for opening is $25. And then you have the business platinum savings, and so this account is for businesses with higher balances, typically looking to save for future expansion. Okay, for the business market rate savings, this is for businesses with lower balances just starting to save or save for unexpected expenses. So the monthly service fee for business platinum savings, that's $15 and $15, and the minimum opening deposit is $25. And then you have the business time accounts, the CDs. So this is an option for businesses looking to plan for the future by earning a fixed interest rate for a specific length of time. And there is no monthly service fee here, and the minimum opening deposit, $2,500. Step number 4. You want to prepare your paperwork, right? So we're trying to, by the way, I want to quickly remind everybody of today's conversation, the topic. We are trying to open a Wells Fargo business account. So if you want to open a Wells Fargo business account, you need to actually gather your paperwork. And we tell our clients all the time, it's just a lot better to go to a branch. I mean, Wells Fargo is a national behemoth in the financial services industry. So they have branches all over the place. Chances are they have a branch next to your house or next to your office. It's just a lot better to go to a branch and have a conversation with the rep before opening a Wells Fargo business checking account. Having said that, if for any reason you cannot move, you cannot actually go there physically and take care of the paperwork there, you can do things over the phone also, or online. But again, so when you open a business checking or savings account at Wells Fargo, they ask you a few things. They ask you information about your business. They ask you information about the owners of your business, and if applicable, entities with ownership of your business. In other words, if you have a conglomerate or you have those sort of legal structures that are a little, I would say, out of the norm. Okay, if you have a trust, for example, or if your LLC is owned by another LLC or another C corporation or S corporation, then things become a little out of the ordinary. And Wells Fargo will want to make sure that you get information about all the ownership of your business. And this is actually required by law, by the way, though. So they also want to have information about an individual or individuals with significant management responsibility of your business. And so you also give Wells Fargo your authorization to check your credit. So Wells Fargo will check your credit before opening your business account. This is really important. A lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of small business owners do not understand the connection between credit and Wells Fargo business account, but that's what they do anyway. Okay, and so you also need to provide documents to verify that your business is registered with the government agency, such as Secretary of State. Okay, and when applying online, they may ask you to upload these documents. And if your business is not registered with a government agency, that basically you need to actually explain why. Okay. And if the documents you provide to Wells Fargo to verify your business does not accurately reflect the physical address of your business, you will need to provide additional documentation for address verification. So they check a lot of things. They check address. They check address. Okay, they check your phone number, your name, first name, last name, and a constellation of other elements. What you want to do here, and this is step number 5, you need to have specific documentation handy. This is really important because depending on the legal structure of your business, you're going to have to provide specific documentation. For example, if you are a sole proprietorship, so if the business name does not include the legal first and last name of the owner, you will need one of the following original or certified business documents. Fictitious name certificate or statement. That's what we call DBA, doing business as. Okay, you need to provide certificate of assumed name, business license, registration of trade name. Okay, for example, if the owner's legal name is Jan Johnson and the business name is Johnson Jewelers, you will need the additional documentation. However, if the business name is Jan Johnson Jewelers, you will not. Okay, so for partnership, for general partnership, you will need one of the following original or certified business documents: partnership agreement, fictitious name certificate of statement, certificate of assumed name, business license. Okay, and if you don't have one of the documents that I just listed and you have not filed the appropriate documents with a government agency, bring a written statement signed by all partners indicating no written partnership agreement exists. And if you don't have documents issued by a government agency, all authorized signers need to be present. This is very important. For a limited partnership, you will need one of the following original or certified business documents. So, certificate of limited partnership or limited partnership document. For a limited liability partnership, you will need one of the following original or certified business documents. So, statement of qualification, limited partnership document, limited liability partnership election. Okay, and so that's for partnerships. For limited liability company, for LLCs, you will need one of the following original or certified business documents. This could be articles of organization, certificate of organization, certificate of formation. For a corporation, you will need one of the following original or certified business documents: articles of incorporation, certificate of good standing, certificate of good formation. Certificate of formation. And for social clubs, for recreational clubs, for unincorporated associations and civic groups, you will need one of the following original or certified business documents. So, business license, fictitious name certificate or statements, certificate of assumed names, organization or association articles or bylaws, certificate of formation, certificate of organization, statement of organization, certificate of registration. Now, the names might be different depending on the state you're applying from, but you need to provide that documentation. You need to substantiate your business documents through one of those documents. Step number 6, you need to have an appointment at a branch if needed. That's what I just said. That basically, depending on the documents that you provided and depending on the availability or non-availability of certain documents, then you need to be present at the branch. For example, as I just said a few minutes ago, if you don't have any certain documents that Wells Fargo is asking for, then all the partners who make up, if you will, the business need to be present, and they need to sign some kind of statement. Okay, this is really important. And so one thing I want to say here is that the importance of having an appointment at a branch cannot be underestimated. We advise all our clients and we advise all our viewers to take 30 minutes. It is really worth it, because honestly, going to the branch and to have a conversation before opening a Wells Fargo business account is really important, because this will serve you for many years. Okay, think of it as the foundation for something beautiful to come. And so if Wells Fargo is a national behemoth, I just said that, when it comes to the financial services industry. So if you are able to cultivate a great relationship with them, you'll be able to parlay that relationship into multiple beneficial, I would say, interactions in terms of credit, for example, in terms of merchant services, for example, in terms of banking, for example. Okay, so go to a branch. I want you to really be on your Sunday, dress well, be presentable, go to a branch, have your paperwork ready, all your documents, okay, and your identification documents, your business formation documents, your business licenses and permits, the list that I just gave you, depending on the legal structure of your business, and go to a branch and ask to speak to a manager or a deputy manager and sit down, have a conversation. Explain to them let them know more about your business, okay, what you do, and answer all questions, and have them and open the account right then and there. It's a lot easier because when you have a rep opening the account for you, he or she knows exactly how the whole thing goes, and things go faster, as opposed to doing things online where you have to actually scramble to get the documents. You're not really sure you're having the right documents, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So long story short, go to a branch. It takes about 30 minutes. Okay. And we have seen clients who actually open their accounts, especially the initiate business checking account, in 15 minutes or less. You're in and out. You're in, you're out. That's it. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was explaining to you how to open a Wells Fargo business account. And step number 1, get to know Wells Fargo business checking accounts. There are 3 categories of accounts: initiate, navigate, and optimize. Step number 2, you want to choose your Wells Fargo business checking accounts. Step number 3, you want to get to know Wells Fargo business savings account, business market rate savings, business platinum savings, business time accounts. And you have to prepare your paperwork, have specific documentation handy, and have an appointment at a branch if needed. Thank you. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.